with source or close to it. So to me, it feels like I know what that feeling should feel like, and I've on very rare occasion woke up from a pretty intense dream, just feeling like I just got back. Like, when you look around and you realize you're home.
You
Usually you're left with that at the end of a dream. Like, you don't necessarily remember all the details of the dream, but you remember the emotional ups and downs of it. You remember the way it made you feel when you come back. I'm telling you, man. Bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Yeah. Big bada boom.
Multipass.
Lilu multipass.
So,
What's up, bro?
oh, nothing much.
Anything that's on your mind?
You know what I was thinking about, actually? Where do we go when we dream?
So there's like a couple of different ways you could look at that. Well, because think about it. We've had the discussion before, as well as have seen other discussions from credible professionals about how our brain produces DMT by itself, and that either right before we die, as well as at certain cycles of sleeping, that our brain produces more DMT. It actually does it itself.
I believe it's on a 28-day cycle based on the time of the year that you were born.
Well, long story short is you're asking where do we go in that? Well, there's been formulated the idea of if our brain is producing, so then basically while we're in subconscious, as they would call it, could it just be a DMT induced part of a sleep cycle? So you haven't gone anywhere, but because your brain has produced this, because some say when you're on DMT, you get more of a like transcendental kind of idea where you can travel to different realms that are parallel dimensions, universes, anything like that, additional dimensions, whatever. I mean, it's you go somewhere from this 4D construct. So even though you're physically here, your consciousness is then transferred, transformed into traverses or
Transmogrified.
any and all of that, where it's now something or somewhere or sometime else.
Right. Right.
I'm just saying. So the potential is you could be your own consciousness inside your body still, and that's where you're dreaming, just in your subconscious. Or there's the potential that you could go somewhere else, and if so, perhaps it's DMT induced, because there has been studies to prove that during different sleep cycles you do have that, especially as you're passing away. Your body's dying, because that's the thing is a lot of people that have had NDEs, near death experiences, they say my life flashed before my eyes. It's almost like you had a 30, 40, 50, 80 year, however long your lifespan was, you had all of that just kind of bloop, shoved into this micro moment. So you get to look at 30, 70, 80 years, but it's the matter of seconds, if that. So it very much paints a picture of.
I didn't have that. My life was too short at the time.
Baby.
I don't remember.
Well, but that's what they're
having that.
saying is, so that's the correlation. If people have that
I
as,
was too busy thinking, oh shit.
I don't think you were thinking anything at the time.
I was. For a moment, I thought, oh fuck, this is bad. And that was pretty much the last thought I had before, like, about 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks. Well, yeah, that's
About that.
all right. But yeah, that's the idea, or the correlation to that is because if you have a massive amount of DMT, the DMT trip itself, you transcend time. Most would give witness to saying that they were gone for days, weeks, months, hours, years, even for some. And then back here in our construct, our time, it's
You transcend
seconds.
time and space. You go to visit your creator. You go to the void, the nothing, which is everything.
Yeah.
You're, wait, so you definitely leave your body.
Your consciousness, sure. Your soul, however you want to.
But that can also happen during your lifetime, though.
What do you mean?
That's how the folklore goes. That's what the Christos is all about. The human body goes through that process, I believe, every 28 days, based upon your cycle. And that the body produces these oils that have to travel down and then back up the spine. And if those oils aren't too tainted, and then most of them remain when they make it up to your head again, then you have a divine experience.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think any and all of these ideas are kind of pointing at the same potential. You're saying like leave your body, but is that truly your consciousness or your soul leaving? Because we were talking,
Does it really go anywhere?
well, right? Well, because we were talking KRS-One, where he's formulating the idea of consciousness as everything. Where if you take this air, this thing in front of me that you can't see, and if I deprive myself, if I close my mouth and my nose, he's like, I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't, nothing dies, but I lose consciousness. He's like, well, then isn't that what that is? And then if air is consciousness, then all things are consciousness. Dirt, trash, wind, trees, ants, people, hair, eyeballs, any and all of it. All of it is consciousness.
There's different levels of consciousness, though.
Well, but the bigger thing is we're talking about being whole without having the constraint of 4 and 3D. That goes out the window, because to be just consciousness is to just be, because all things are. So it's just that continuous existence.
So the rock has a memory of being a rock.
Maybe. Or maybe even the rock can tap into the memories from
When he was-
alternate timeline or universe or
when it was
whatever.
a mountain.
Maybe. Or a rabbit or a person
Is it no
or
longer
a
the
flower.
mountain?
Could have
And
been
he
all sorts of
questions
things.
that within himself as he just sits there on a ledge somewhere. Like, I'm no longer a mountain, just a rock. But am I? Am I still the mountain within a rock?
Wouldn't that be a rock within the mountain? Or a rock on the mountain?
Yes, both. That.
And you saying that again, was all things everywhere all at once? When the two rocks are sitting on, it's
Right.
still mother and daughter. All things are, especially as string theory would paint it, is that all things are basically just molecular structures. It's molecules that are resonating at certain frequencies and vibrations with a level of energy that causes it to solidify as a thing.
Yeah, you have to bring that thing, that imaginary thing, into focus in your mind's eye. And that's how you bring it to manifest or to be able to jump multiverses, which is basically what she was doing.
Right.
She was attuning herself, like a tuning fork,
Yeah.
to the frequency of the place that she wanted to visit. Time, place, whatever, both the same. Can't have one without the other.
Hot dog fingers. Just saying, there was a universe where everybody had hot dog fingers.
That's odd.
But that existence does exist. All existences are. I mean, there's literally endless possibilities. There's infinite universes. There's infinite dimensions. There's infinite everything.
You could say there's different dimensions to this physical life in a way.
That's there's different dimensions to this dimension.
Like the dimension of living as a bacteria.
All of it, bro.
That's a totally different experience than we experience. Totally different experience.
And that's where I always like the idea of getting into consciousness is what is the perception? I mean, your perception would change that, wouldn't it? Or does your consciousness modify your perception, or is it a vice versa, hand in hand, simpatico kind of a thing?
Um,
Yeah, I mean, which comes before the other, or does it matter? Or,
chicken and egg. What did you say? Does consciousness alter perception?
yeah, or does perception alter
Consciousness
consciousness?
is just the vehicle to which things can be perceived. So, no.
Okay, but I also had the
Oh,
bigger
can consciousness? Oh, can I see what you're saying? Can
yeah,
like a frame of mind alter your reality?
and vice versa.
Yeah, I
But
would say probably. I would say it does.
but the addition on that was also doesn't matter.
Or once it comes into being, it is.
I guess it depends on what your perception is.
Well, I mean, I perceive that it's matter. I can see it, touch it, move it around, step on it, stand on it.
But yeah, it's I think all of those things just really lend its hand to being able to grasp honestly greater than what 3 or 4D is. Because I feel as you get into asking any of these kinds of questions, you really kind of have to step outside of what 3 and 4D would be. I mean, you'd have to formulate what existence is without that. Kind of like Einstein doing the speed of light thought experiment, where if he's on a train traveling at the speed of light and there's a light on the front of the train, would he ever see that light?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. But any dimension above, it would be any dimension above the fourth dimension.
Well, only as it's been categorized.
Like I would say we would be in the fourth dimension. We are 3D, but the fourth dimension is the aspect of time
Correct.
because those two things have to coincide. There's no such thing as time and space. It's time space. It has to be viewed that way because they're one and the same. They're two sides of the same coin.
Basically, it's how it functions and what its premise is, I would
Because
say.
you can't describe an event without giving, like, okay, I give you a location, but that could be 2 billion years later, you know, never even happened. So I need to give you two different things. I need to give you time and space for there to be a way to quantify matter or an occurrence or whatever, right? This is this dichotomy that you were talking about.
Well,
Having to exist within a material world, that's what happens. Automatically you have something that has to be classified. You know, it's either space or it's matter, and it just keeps going further beyond that. You know, is it porous? Is it big? Is it,
right.
you know,
Well, and that's why I always have the extension of that is these are just signifiers. They just help to paint the word picture, as it were. Um, those signifiers are only necessary to convey ideas or thoughts. Outside of that, I think that's where any and all things are. whether it's time and space or fifth dimensions, alternate universes, parallel, any and all of that. I think when you get outside of these standardized constraints is where you get into everything, and that becomes the true sense of existence, because all things are, they just are. Like, is, that's all it is.
Sounds like a good mantra.
Well, that's you
Well,
can
what
go.
you're talking about is reaching that point where you're above the fourth dimension. You're in the fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever. You're like you're talking. At that point, it's no longer like you as you think of you.
Because you would be a part of all things.
You just are.
Exactly. And that's, I think that was
And then when
KRS's.
you think of yourself as you think of yourself as all of this.
Well, that's why going back to the KRS thing where he's explaining how air can be consciousness, and if I'm not interacting with it, then I lose my consciousness. I'm no longer tethered to the rest of this in any sense. I think that just really lends its hand to the idea that all things are and exist. So if you're a part of that, that's how you become more of the flow or in the present, and then you just are. There, while there is time and space, it does not matter if it is or isn't and how it is connected or not. You just are, because you're a part of all that. So you are time and space as well as everything else. So you're not even dimensional or a part of a piece that allows for difference or to show dichotomy, but you just are. It's all of it at the same time. That mentality in and of itself, to be truly a part of that existence, I don't think our meat suit brains are allowed to comprehend that. That would just be, if you think of it, sensory overload.
Not while you're in this body.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I mean when I'm talking about like you're not in a physical space outside of your body. You can't even talk about it like that because it's not on this dimension.
And what's talking? You wouldn't even be talking.
And what you are talking about is you're talking about a place that's not a place, and a place that there is no passage of time. And generally speaking, I'd like to think a place of peace and quiet and comfort,
Well, yeah, and that's why I say
hopefully surrounded by a feeling of love.
when you're at peace, you just are. You literally just are. That's peace. That's why I believe us as, if we are individual beings, I would see us as being like a light, being a being of light or love, or light and love ideas, because love is transcendent. It has no space, it has no time. It just is. That's what love is. That's why I was saying, it depends on what is, because it does. How you define it, your perception. That's why I was asking that question. Does perception modify consciousness, or does consciousness modify perception, or do they actually go hand in hand, like time and space kind of a thing? Do
And
they,
then it's all just electrons dancing.
again,
What
just
to do about nothing, kind of
we're just molecular structures.
just doing this dance for a little while, right?
Well, that's what this
And then it'll be
physical,
something else. But it seems like never ending.
that's what I was saying earlier.
Is it just cyclical?
It's all infinite. Just goes and goes and goes on everything.
It's just so weird. Insignificant universe in an insignificant corner of the galaxy on an insignificant arm. Tiny little insignificant solar system. It's crazy. What's out there? What's out there?
Well, that's why, going to your question that you asked, when we dream, where do we go? Even if we were to say it's in your head, we say it's DMT induced, you could be transcendent and traverse time and space, or even further dimensions, any of that. Are you? Or are you just that much more of being what all things are, just being?
Hmm. Not being human, just being.
Yep.
Not being this person that wakes up and goes to work and comes home and takes care of his kids. Not that person.
You good?
I'm good.
All right.
It's just wild stuff to think about.
Well, and to me personally, that's why I get into the thought experiments or trying to understand the whole pyramid frequency, energy, vibration stuff, is because it's very much a part of all of this. Because if this is what existence is, then our thoughts that the pyramids are this, time and space is this, all of these different things. What is it? What does that matter? What does even all of that means? It just puts me into this quandary of like, well, what the fuck is it all?
What is it? What does it all mean? Who knows?
And even if it does mean something, then what does it matter? It's like,
Know thyself. I think that's important.
my biggest question of all of this is, okay, we're molecules, we're electrons, we're frequency, we're vibration, we're carbon, nitrogen, all these things.
We're a
But
pattern in a light wave.
but that's, where did that come from? And so you say we're a pattern in a light wave. Well, where did that light wave come from? A star. Well, where did that star come from? Where did it all come from? How does any of this actually exist? How the hell are we here to have this conversation of what does actually existing mean?
It's all a shadow cast by the pleroma. Who knows? This crazy thing we call reality.
That's like we were talking the other week. I'm getting back to that place where why so serious? Like why can't we just goof around a little bit more? Be present, enjoy the moments. So I guess that's why I enjoy watching the different videos and whatnot of like the pyramids and stuff, is because it's just, that's entertainment to me, postulating these ideas.
There's nothing wrong. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I like to watch a lot of that stuff too.
Well, this was
And it's not like, well, you a believer? It's like, I don't know. I haven't seen proof either way. When somebody can show me proof and I see it and I can, you know, yeah, I'll believe it then. But it's entertainment.
yeah, that's what it's coming down to. Is it really is just, it entertains me, but in this construct, if it's actually true, the new stuff that's coming out, then that's pretty cool. So either way, it's still like a
What is
win-win.
going on? Because it doesn't seem like anybody's talking about anything. But like,
Not on the mainstream, no.
there was disclosure within the U.S. government
About what?
in Congress about aliens and all this stuff started coming out.
Yeah, and doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's full
But it
knowledge.
seems like nobody's talking about it either way. I don't know. But they were just like ignore it because it seems like BS. Or
I think so. That would be my opinion because of the way it was presented, but
so you think all the whistleblowers that came out, they're just
full of shit.
totally.
Dude, we've had this discussion before. If our government okays you to say certain things, it's because it's to their benefit. They're not going to let you say anything that is not to their benefit. Not going to happen.
So what's that mean though? Like it's not disclosure, or
Of course, it's
is it
not.
this same silly smokescreen that we always play? Like release every bit of information that's a little bit far fetched, because then nobody will know what to believe, and the truth is out there, but it's hidden. Like
Well, right. They give you 100% of information and only 1% of it is actually true. But when it's
If it's only 1%, that's still a big 1%, bro.
As you said,
That's what.
that's some scary shit, but it's there's only so much honesty, and I mean, what does any of that matter if it's true or not? That's why I keep saying, like, when people come up with these outlandish ideas where there's all this evidence to support it, but they don't have anything to really grasp at as a form of an origin or whatever, they just automatically go aliens. Well, why can't it
Yeah,
just
why did
be?
you make that jump?
Yeah, why can't it just be an advanced civilization? Why can't we just leave it at that? Because that's a truer statement of it. It doesn't have to be extraterrestrial. It could have been of this earth. But we also supposedly came here as fungal spores.
Could be subterrestrial.
But we all came here as fungal spores, supposedly. Land in the water turns into these different cultures of sorts, and then those turn into and then evolve and evolve and evolve. And before you know it, you've got fish and lizards and trees and plants and da 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 that all mimic this, mycelial network that we've talked about.
Blue-green algae as well. But
So in all sense of in the greater sense of it all, if that's how we came to be, well then aren't we extraterrestrial? We're from somewhere else. We just came here and we just slowly
are
evolved
we
into
though?
this.
I think if early Earth was impregnated by a rock from another dying planet, did it not just create an Earth that now peoples this way?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I mean, any other planet would probably people a little different, but maybe it's because of that rock that and who's to say? Because it's the conditions of the planet that that rock lands on that determine, to some extent, how that life form is going to come about. To be able to survive,
Yeah, through
body
evolution.
density, muscle
Right.
mass.
They deal with the atmosphere, the gravitational pull, any and all of the factors of its existence. Yeah, agreed. But that's what I'm saying. So to say extraterrestrial really doesn't mean shit, is what it comes down to. It's just a term,
That just means not terrestrial
not of this earth.
or above terrestrial. Wouldn't interdimensional look a lot like
Extraterrestrial. Interspecies breeding.
No, bro, it's gross. Well, yeah,
Hey,
never mind. It's gross.
I don't want to know what just popped in your head on that one. But
I choose invisibility.
and that's the thing with all of it, though, is you're alien, not alien, terrestrial, subterrestrial, whatever. None of that to me really matters because all of it exists. It's up to me with my perception and my consciousness what I do with it. So I was saying consciousness and perception might be a little bit more intertwined, kind of like space and time as we would see it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, complementary, yin and yang of it in a sense.
Well, you're looking through a lens when you're in an individual body. That changes things. You're using that body then as a lens to view the world through because this body experiences life this way. It's not going to be the same with you, right? The same experience could be had, but it would be completely different from a perspective
Yeah.
that's individual of what I would consider the great spirit. Like the source of all light. And if you imagine every individual soul on this planet, all that really is like you would painted a globe with black paint and you have a light bulb inside that's really, really bright, and you just poke tiny holes all the way around. So you create like these beautiful constellations all around the thing. It's all one. It's all the same thing. It's all coming from that light source. Simple.
I don't know if that's really simple, but
And that's why we are reflections of that light. We are ugly, fleshy examples of it.
Where do we go when we dream? I think everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
I was only asking because I know, I mean, well, obviously, the big reason for me is the fact that I remember waking up from honestly feeling like I wasn't in my body before. Because I truly feel like for about 2 weeks I wasn't. And then I was thrown back in. But again, this is neither a time nor a place. So you can't say in the body, out of the body, you know,
I get that.
with source or close to it. To me, it feels like I know what that feeling should feel like. And I've, on very rare occasion, woke up from a pretty intense dream, just feeling like I just got back. Like, when you look around, you realize you're home.
You're
Usually you're left with that at the end of a dream. Like, you don't necessarily remember all the details of the dream, but you remember the emotional ups and downs of it. You remember the way it made you feel when you come back.
I've
And that was left with me
no
on a
lately
couple occasions.
I've been having very vivid dreams.
To the point where I feel like I wasn't in my body overnight. Like I flew somewhere and partied with aliens on the moon.
Which moon?
Any of them. I don't know who know all of them. Like party hopped all night, and then came back to my body with a drunk soul and a completely sober body, going, "What the hell?" It's a couple times, not a lot, but reminded me of coming back after my coma.
Never experienced that. But I like how you put that. Being with the source or close to it.
That's how it felt.
Well, and I really would like to be able to understand where all of this came from. How did it even possibly come about? And I don't even mean us as an existence. I'm talking the atoms. Where'd they come from? Stardust. Where'd that come from? It's carbon and da da da. Well, it's like, all right, that's another atom. Where did the atom come from? Well, the atoms are made up of this. Well, where did that stuff come from? How is there even the ability for any and all of this to exist if there is no existence? Like, where does it come from? I mean, you can't have literally blank page with nothing on it, no existence of carbon, nitrogen, or any of these things, and then it's just there. How's that possible?
Well, that's where the leap of faith comes in.
But you can tell me that something created it. You have the Big Bang Theory, or you have, God. There's Genesis. God made the earth, and then He made light, and He made the animals. And it's like, but where did then God come from?
Well,
Like, what made God?
This turtle's all the way down, man.
No.
I mean, I get it, but that's an argument that you can have all day long, and it does nothing but put a distance between you and that source that you're looking for. What I felt was like that was where I was and where I will be and where I always belong. It was that all wrapped in one. Coming back here was like putting a muzzle on. And this is all like, I'm saying this isn't like a vivid memory I have. This is a feeling, because that's what transfers easily. It's that feeling that in the big brain of the heart, you hold that. Everybody does. That I was lucky enough to experience at 17 years old. So I was not here. I'm pretty certain of that.
You know what? I think that's a great place to stop, because I really want to get, because you've never done it. We've talked about it a few times, but you've never actually.
Yeah, we could
I'd
do
like
a 3-part series if you want. I don't care, but
Yeah, no, I would like to put a pin in this part of the conversation and then come back to having you explain a little bit more what happened and what you felt, all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be a really good,
It was
like literal good episode to do.
interesting, something to think about.
Yeah. Well then,
Yeah, life changing. Absolutely.
I was saying we'll come back to
Good.
that. So then, you at home, hit us in the
Yeah.
comments. I mean, what part of consciousness? Where do we go when we dream? Any and all of this conversation that we've had. If any of it resonated with you, if any of it makes you just think, you have answers yourself, questions yourself, just hit us in the comments.
Yeah, it is in the comments.
Nice cuppage. As well as we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you all. Check the credits. If your names aren't in it, hit us in the comments. We'll
put
throw
you
you in there.
We'll do it.
Oh yeah, it'll happen. As well as watch the credits. Your name might be in there, but we also do bloopers. Pretty cool. Yeah, that and as we always say, be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. I was thinking a couple things on the way over here. I'll have to warm up to it.
Warm up to wanting to talk about them or like remember them, because there's a difference.
Yes.
To which question? Speak for yourself. I look pretty good, thank you. Rocking this meat suit on a...
Not as good as your spirit body looks, bro.
How do you know?
Because I can see it.
Look behind the curtain.
I can see it. No.
You said you were watching.
You said you were catatonic.
Cam.
Go check on the car.
In the sky.
The great goes
Beard
beyond.
in the sky.
Yeah, no, something like that. The Great Spirit. Hug it, squeeze it, love it.
Take it out for a nice steak dinner on Saturday night. And proceed to not call it the next morning.
I was thinking like squeeze it and hug it and kiss it and hold it and call it George.
It was Elmira or whatever. Just exist, you know?
Let it happen.
Why not be more of the flow? Why not just be?
We use so much of our energy looking into the past or into the future when there's nothing we can do about either of those things because they'll never exist. Only one thing that exists. Now.
Now?
Now. Missed it.
When?
Now.
Just now. When will then be now? Soon!
Trying not to do more pyramid stuff. I feel like we need to take a break from that for a minute.
I was just gonna say, did you watch the video that I sent you?
Yeah, no, you're still going in that direction. I think that's great, but I feel like there's other topics.
Well, no, I sent that to you because as we've been bringing it up, it's like, dude, I really do just, like, this is a lot of what I ingest right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, this is cool.
It's a good question. What the F is it all? What if it's all projected on the screen?
Simulation theory. I buy it. Ready for the clap.
Not even that. Like some shadow government that's been in control forever. That they've just programmed us all to just, never look behind the curtain, wherever that curtain is. I don't know. Anyway.
And 1, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.